Hey, Lee Wolf here, and we are live this Game Face Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. As always, Mr. Richie Bello is by my side, and we have a special guest today, and it's something that I see as a really important piece of the puzzle for dealerships or really any business. Um, Phone call after phone call after phone call from vendors. They want meetings. They want to, and you're trying to make things fit and understand what works best for your business vendor wise. Well, Shannon Neilson is a dealer advocate and vendor matchmaker, and that's something I think most businesses could use. So it's really good having you on the show today, Shannon.
Thanks, Lee. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. How you doing, Rich?
Good. I'm trying to hang in there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get rolling on the show, just going to run a quick message from our sponsor, Shopmart Autos.
Digital marketers, are you ready to give your clients an edge in the competitive auto market? Well, you can with the VIN Retention Report from Shopmart Autos. This powerful tool doesn't just track the vehicles that dealerships sold or held onto, it shows where cars went, whether other dealerships, auctions, or private sales. And it does it fast because it does it with VINs. With this data, marketing agencies can create tailored campaigns that directly address these weaknesses. It's one thing to win new customers with great creative or lower prices per click, but it's a totally new ballgame when you can target each click and new customer with powerful data. As affordable as a radio spot, but far more effective. Help your clients win with the VIN Retention Report from Shopmart Autos.
All right. So, Shannon, tell us a little bit about where you're coming from and how you got to here, and why are you so dedicated to dealer advocacy?
Well, my journey started, I went to art school and I was working in advertising in a number of different industries. And then, it began in automotive because someone believed in me. My first general manager, Ed, hired me. He found me online and asked me to come and interview for a position he wanted to create within his dealership. He wanted someone to manage his marketing and his websites. Wow. And, he saw the potential there, even though I had absolutely no experience in the automotive industry. Mm. And when I came in, their brand needed help. It was fragmented, I will say. So, I had the opportunity to teach him a lot about advertising and the magic of marketing when it all comes together and everyone's collaborating and everyone's working toward the same goal. And he taught me, he gave me such a strong foundation in the automotive industry, and just, he was just a fantastic human being. He empowered me to trust and explore and innovate in that role, because no one knew what I was supposed to be doing, right. Including me at first.
So did you break off from there and start into your own realm?
So I spent nearly a decade with those dealerships. Wow. And I was very, very fortunate, to have Ed mentor me. And he was a human being that just, he believed in me. He believed in all of his people, mm-hmm. And he was the type of person that everyone who knew him said, I would do anything for that man.
Right.
So he really shaped my values as far as moving forward and really wanting to care about the dealerships and their results. Yeah. So that's what brought about my caring so deeply about dealers' results and my passion toward bringing all of your vendors together at the same table so that we're working toward the same goal.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really interesting concept. One I have never heard of actually or experienced. So that's pretty cool to actually have vendors aimed towards the same goal and working together and understanding each other. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. Richie, pretty cool concept, right? So taking not only understanding the types of vendors that each business or dealership may need, but then having those vendors collaborating together to be working towards a common goal.
Mhm.
Yeah, what I would first want to say is good job, Ed. Okay, because
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky enough to have a guy named Ed that gave Shannon a shot. That's awesome, because if you look at her, she has scaled, and it's nothing where she's at, it's where she's headed. I think she has great relationships. I've met a few people. She's given us a few introductions. And I think that from here on, she can only go one way, which is up. And she has the great personality. She was a performance manager, all right? And also she scaled from that into other things, and she's able to observe. And, being a performance manager, you're listening to the dealers' problems and you're coming up with solutions. So if you're a performance manager anywhere between a week and 3 months, you're a solution person, period. And coming from the data sector, right?
Mhm.
She understands that. And then she went to Dominion, which, let's face it, Dominion's got the cross-sell report that was made by our Polkin company. And it's the same type of report as the VIN retention. Only difference is ours is based on online, and we track every VIN number immediately versus registration. Registration data is great. The problem is that it's a time thing, you know what I mean? So you don't really know. You'll know about it when the party's over. We can get registration data too, and that's one of the products that we have. But the biggest thing is that how we do it is we have the VIN retention. Then if the dealer wants that registration data, that's fine. We pull it through Experian, which has more credibility than anybody else out there. We've tried with others, but the credibility with Experian is so much greater. So we pull it from there if that dealer wants it. But having that just gives you it basically gives you a full dive right away of knowing before the party's over. Registration data takes 90 days. So Shannon was in that company, and she knows what I'm talking about. And that basically got licensed or sold by our Polkin company. And it's the same thing, but our report's a little bit more detailed, only because we have more information. And compliance-wise, because it's online, we don't have to follow so much compliance as registration data. So taking a dive like that is important as a dealer is, because you know where you're at. But if we forget a minute about the dealership, it's the vendor. Really, Mr. Vendor, you're trying to help out the dealership. How professional are you going to look when you took a dive under the hood and say, Mr. Dealer, I know you have a problem. I have the solution. First of all, that dealer is going to know that you care. And the saying that I always say, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Right? And showing the dealership, here's the report. Now it's a caring part. When you care, it's a whole different perception, Now, Shannon also has a lot of other vendors, and the reason she's here is to talk about our VIN retention report. It's out there, but the biggest thing is, who are her vendors and what kind of solutions are they providing to the dealership? Because this show is all about vendors and dealers, to merge them, right? Which ones have the solution that fits for their dealership? Because Shannon might know 3 vendors that 2 of them might not have that solution for that dealership, but that one does. And that's where Shannon's talent comes in. It's listening to understand, right?
Yes.
And listening to the wants and needs, so then she can put the right vendor there. So Shannon, go ahead.
Thanks, Richie. Yeah, it's so many vendors are, kind of fighting for that same piece of your co-op budget, right? And if they all get on the same page, that co-op budget will be bigger. It's not a limited resource. if they're coming together to help the dealer sell more cars, parts, and service, the co-op budget can be unlimited. You know, it's just the growth, the opportunity for growth. If I can get them to see it, that's the challenge. And I think every dealer kind of struggles with that too. But speaking on retention specifically, the SSA-VIN Retention Report is a fantastic tool. I've shared it with a number of dealers, and they've been very impressed and said, "Wait a minute, where is all of this coming from? And can I share it, with my team?" And then coupled with the Vinsight tool to help build that loyalty. I think some dealers are scared about AI, when it's going to take over. It's a tool. It's an assistant. It's another employee, if you will, that a really, really smart one that is automatically ingesting all of your data and putting all those touch points together and has the ability to reach out and develop and keep that connection with the customer.
Right.
It's so important. Once you bought, you just spent $60,000 on a brand new car. You get home, you don't remember how half of the gadgets in there function.
Right.
But you're automatically receiving these informational, text messages or emails or however you've chosen to, receive those.
Right.
It builds the value in your dealership.
Yeah. Who is my salesman? When do I need an oil change? When do I? You drive out of there and it's just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some of the companies that I've been, I spend hours learning about all of these new solutions. I took myself to NADA this year because I wanted to walk the floor and learn about all the new solutions. What was really exciting was on the last day, I met a gentleman who had retired from Mannheim, from Cox. And he came also to learn about the new solutions. And he told me, I walked that floor and there are so many young startup companies, vendors that have the solution that, Cox is still working on.
Right.
It's exciting. It's exciting to be able to bring those solutions to the dealers and just, talk about them and let's uncover it and see if it's going to, if it matches what you need. And if so, then I'll set up a demo with them and we can, explore it further. But I'm not a salesperson at all. I'm a relationship builder.
Right.
I want a long-term, relationship. And that's why the customer loyalty and retention is so important to me.
Yeah, it should be important to everyone. And actually, on that note, we're going to break real quick for our first ever retention minute.
JP Burkemper here with Vinsight. Let's quickly talk about customer retention. Now, every dealer should know that selling the car is just the beginning. But in reality, too many stores are treating their customers like one-time transactions. Now, the stats don't lie. According to NADA, customer retention is at an all-time low. Meanwhile, the cost to acquire a new customer is higher than ever. So this means if you're not keeping your existing customers engaged, you're paying a premium just to replace them. Here's the reality. Your competition is not just other dealers. There's service chains, online retailers, auctions, even the OEMs themselves, all trying to pull your customers away. So retention is not just about service reminders. It's about building long-term trust and value and doing it right away. The dealers winning in this space are the ones focusing on post-sale engagement, personalized offers, making it easy for customers to return. Retention is not an afterthought. It's a strategy. And in a market that is this competitive, the dealerships that prioritize this will dominate. So if you're not focusing on customer retention today, you're already losing. Okay. So with Vinsight, you sell them, we keep them coming back.
Man, that music really wakes you up, huh?
Yeah, that was great. You know, Lee, I want to say something about that. That was great. We met them because they share the same keyword with us, VIN retention, and bring people on the show that share that keyword. I want to say something. I've been posting a lot of stuff on LinkedIn and that. So one of these guys that does advertising for dealers reached out to me and says, Richie, you've always been an advertiser. And there was a post you wrote about acquisition versus retention. Did you give up on advertising? So I said, look, I didn't give up on advertising. All I want to try to do is do the right thing. While ShopSmart was being developed, I reached out to one of these guys at a really big company that advertises, and they did an ad for me, and I never did anything with that ad. Now, I did a lot of free trials, and I gave a lot of deals, 100 leads and all that, and they don't even know where it came from. I'm about to share that on a screen share, but before that, she brought up Cox. I want to say something. Cox Automotive. Sandy Schwartz retired. Huge figure. I'm glad in my lifetime that I met the guy. And I'm glad that he did what he did. Let's go for a minute to that history. Media guy lands at Mannheim. They blow it up. Not even funny. Carfax gets in there. I mean, they put it. Here's Carfax. For Auto Trader, by the way, we're running it already for dealers. Who cares? Boom. That's when I was back in the Polk days. Then after that whole thing, how he turned that place around, made loans and financing for dealers, for the used car dealers. I mean, so they had floor plan. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not yet. Technology, building technology. That guy was very big on technology. Huge technology guy. Wait a minute. Now Cox Automotive wants to put them in the automotive sector. Cox Automotive. Again, dealer track. Forget about it. It was like crazy. Dealer.com. Vinsight. It was nuts, right? Okay, that he wasn't done there. Okay, then they put him in family office. Oh my God. What he did at Cox Automotive family office was a game changer. I really, certain words I don't use, like, because they're sins, like proud and all that. But I really am pleased. And I appreciate that I got the opportunity to meet him, if it was for about a minute. Okay? And I'm humble enough to say thank you, Sandy, of what you've done in the industry and what a game changer you've been. A lot of people talk about game changer. That's the guy that's a game changer. And if you don't know him or you don't know of him, look him up. There's a YouTube there, a webinar. That guy is a game changer. A real game changer. And game changers don't say they're game changers. That guy wouldn't even be out there like that. But that guy was a huge brand. That guy, what he did in this industry in 40 years was a true game changer. Mm-hmm. Saying it, I'm a game changer, not saying it. The guys that talk like that really don't do much. It's just like certain trainers that train only because they can do, but they're good trainers. You know what I mean? I'm not taking anything away, but that guy is a tremendous game changer. So God bless Sandy. May he have a great retirement and may he last forever. Okay? Forever. Because he will in this industry. So that being said, I'm going to take a second, right, and show I had a company that did Facebook ads, did this ad, did that ad. Then they said, well, it doesn't work because of the site. I'm going to show something for a minute with all these CDPs in the world that are going on and all this. We did this at ShopSmart. But not only did we do it for automotive off-lease, automotive loan expiration, and private sellers while COVID. We've been doing this for quite some time. with funnels and all that, using some of our technology and using some of high-level technology and Infusionsoft. So you see my screen, right, Lee?
I do not.
Oh,
I feel like I hear a pressure cooker every once in a while going off.
it's not me.
Oh, okay. Is there steam coming out of my head?
So while COVID, okay, we did this here, and SSA data. You see my screen now, Lee?
Yes, sir.
All right. SSA data was a really big part of those leads that we gave free trials, and these customers, whatever, didn't do anything with it, blah, blah. And then we decided to get into the data part with the VIN retention. But how I generate these, everybody was at 100 leads, 50 leads, 25 leads. Some bought and some didn't. We just gave the free trials. This is how we did it. Automotive off-lease, automotive expiration, and private sales. When the private sales were existing, that's when we really rocked it out, because I was able to give you the email and all that stuff. And it's not that I'm against that of acquisitions. It didn't work for me. And when it didn't work, what happened? When it didn't work, that company made an excuse. So I said to myself, okay, I got a problem. How am I going to generate the leads when it's not converting? We read the site, and then it was fine. And I did email funnels using off-lease, off-this, private sellers, and I rocked it out. That's how these dealers got all those leads, okay? So now think about this for a minute. That's exactly what these guys tell these dealers, and these dealers keep paying more and more. And why are we at $705 a car delivered? I don't want to say the word, but they're full of you know what, okay? Your site, it's always an excuse, this, that. They're so good at saying it's because of this. It's your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault. They're full of it. Full of it. Now, that's how ShopSmart, now that everybody needs to know that this is how we did it. We're very creative with the data side. A lot of people might not know this of me, or maybe they do, because I'm not out there like that. I stay behind the scenes. I worked at the R.O. Polka company, and I learned a lot at my stay there. I was with Dr. John's team, and we were doing training, and then certain people got a liking to me and told me a little bit about the data side. I'll say like a little bit, right? That little bit helped me get to where I am today. As far as cross-sell, I was part of that whole development phase with cross-sell. I was there with Kathy Ruber and her team, and that's what it is, guys. But I'm not against the acquisition. I'm not against marketing. I'm just against a dealer paying $705, like that person texted me, right? And said to me that, because that's what he wants. All these companies, PPC, Facebook, and all that, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. What you're really doing is ripping off a dealership. And you know that, because there's so many other solutions that can help a dealership understand something. It's Google the one that's taking a dealership out of business. It's not you. You're just getting a small percentage. So it's just like the newspaper, the radio, and all that. Guys, give the dealership the right solution. You know, right. You keep having the direct mail doesn't work, this, that. It does. Because I run reports where Tony from the direct mail company has, and the people I run that just do digital are hurting. Their ROI compare one to the other is much higher. So guys, stop the nonsense already.
Right.
Well, what do you guys want to do? Drive that to 1,500? By the way, it's not 705. It's 705 because it's a national figure. And you're talking about Lincoln, Nebraska. You're talking about Sugar Land in Texas, which are small communities. You take New York, and I know of a dealer that's got a big brand and a big name and partners with this and partners with that, $1,500 a car sold. In Miami, another group, 1,600. Why? Because the guys that are selling and the guys that are presidents in the company are making $350 a year, $400,000. It's big salaries. Who's paying for those salaries? You, the dealership. You, Mr. Customer.
Mhm.
VIN retention is important. VinStick, that's unbelievable product. They can put you on the map and lower the cost of acquisition. Let's face it, you're still going to spend money, but
Mhm.
you're not going to spend it in one company. You're going to retain your customers. You're going to get more referrals. You're going to get better spread of a customer,
Right.
different type of customer, and not just the customer that you get in.
Right.
Mhm.
And, you know, I got to say, Shannon's got a lot of different companies. What's that company called? Command something, right?
Yes. So yeah, I'm curating these companies after exploring what each of them does, and Client Command has a really exciting audience builder tool that and I'm very familiar with audience builders because of my time at Experian.
Right.
And their audience builder has a patented technology that is bringing in, I think it's 90% of all devices, bringing them all together. And their CDP actually has the capability to show you that entire customer journey based on VIN. And what excites me about this is working with, Shopmart Autos and your VIN retention program and Vinsight, and bringing everyone together on that and showing, where, because it takes multiple touch points to sell
Right.
cars and to bring those customers back for service.
Yeah.
It takes multiple touch points, and if we all come together, we all win.
Now, do you also deal in training?
I have BDC companies that I'm partnering with. I do not do, live training with dealerships. I don't tell you how to do your job. I don't tell the
Oh no, I
vendors.
mean vendors. I'm sorry. Like, do
Yeah.
you, anytime you're adding new vendors, new software tools, things like that,
Mhm.
first thing that always pops off in my head is there's got to be proper training for these people, which I did not experience a lot of that
Exactly.
when I was in. Do you work hand in hand with people that do training?
I do.
Okay.
I partnered with a company called Onboardian, and they do just a phenomenal job of bite-sized training. They handle the whole onboarding process for your employees, which builds confidence right away. When you're a new employee, that's you need to learn the job. But then they also have this platform available at any time. So it just builds the confidence of your employees and builds that, if your employee retention is high, your customer loyalty is also going to be high. Happy employees equal happy customers.
Yeah.
And when they feel confident about their job, when they're able to just jump into this platform right from their mobile phone and do a quick role play before they go into that meeting with a new customer, they feel more confident,
Sure.
know what they're doing. And I think that's the problem with, with most jobs, is if you don't know how to be successful at it, you're probably going to fail. Right?
Yeah. And just one other question about so fundamentally, like, if you go into a dealership and let's say you only bring them one potential vendor that works for them and they're just thrilled with all their other vendors, are you able to get all those vendors? Do you get pushback from the vendors? Like, why are we now communicating? Why are we now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then, we just have to keep working together. And, maybe that's sending a red flag if this vendor doesn't want to talk to your other vendors.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take a look at that and
truth.
look under the hood and see exactly what they're doing for you and not doing.
Yeah, truth. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Rich, I mean, it's a pretty powerful situation here, I think.
Yeah. Client Command, right?
Mhm.
They used to have another company, right? They bought into the, it's a spin from a company that was doing something like that. I gotta say something about these CDPs. There's big brands out there in the automotive talking about CDPs. Let me just share something. Because we're a digital marketing firm. I've been a digital marketing firm now for a pretty long time with USMMP and White Dove Bird since what, 2015? Okay. I got to share something. The catering halls hardly run ads. They do this type of marketing with funnels. Okay. Yes. There's different businesses that do this. The roofing industry, okay, do this. The construction, they don't do ads like the car business. You know why? Because it's real easy. The industry, our industry, the factory gives them co-op. If there will be no co-op, they will be not spending that kind of money. Okay. So when you don't have access to that, you have to make it work. You try making it work with no money from no OEM. You try that and let me know how that works for you. Okay. Call me and let me know how that works for you. If they pull that co-op right out, bang, what are you going to do? I tell you what you're going to do. Because all your focus is on these vendors that are making this kind of money and all that. Lower your acquisition doesn't mean to stop doing ads, but don't take advantage of something with the OEMs and all that. Pay attention, because what you have today, you will lose it tomorrow. Especially when dealerships now have the ability to know. The OEMs know what's going on, all that. When they look at that retention, 7, 8, 9% retention. What are you kidding me? Mr. Dealer, if you don't start paying attention, you're going to have a problem. These vendors, everything on earth, everything's temporary. Everything. It don't matter. It starts with life. That's temporary. It starts with the economy. That's temporary. Everything's temporary. There's going to be a day when they're going to go to the wells too many times, and then what do you do? Okay, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? I don't think so. You're going to call Rich Bello. You know why? Because they've been doing that for different industries for quite some time. Okay, the data, the funnels, since Infusionsoft with Mr. Clayton, we did it. Go High Level, Groove Pages, and the list goes on. We've been doing this quite some time, folks. This CDP and all this. I mean, please, okay? Funnels has been going on for a long time. Just the automotive sector got into it now. Okay? A very long time. So we are very well versed in this, only because we've been doing digital for quite some time. So, I mean, it's like an act, it's like really, guys, it's like an act. Let's give the right solution to that dealership. Let's call Shannon and get her in there as a consultant to listen to it. We are excited about what she does, and we're excited about the company she has, because those companies, we've checked them out, and she's not saying too much about them. But once we mentioned that company alone is a game changer. Because they're not out there like that. A lot of people don't even know that. When people don't know other companies, only because that's got quality. And Shannon, great job with that company. I am so impressed. Dealers, when this show's over, call Shannon and get on the phone with her and have her go to your store or have a Zoom so she can introduce you to this company, because this company will help you lower your acquisition, increase your retention, and really pump up your referral business. I mean,
employee retention too.
Yeah.
Really pay attention.
Absolutely.
Shannon, anything else, any other bombs you want to drop on us here before we wrap up the show?
There's one last company that I just recently learned about. from NADA, and since then called Fasten, and they are a credit card for the dealership. What makes them different is that they're not from the OEM. They're not. They provide the credit card. They provide the point system based on the car payments that the customer is making, and they keep them in-house. It's branded for your dealership. It's branded for your dealer group.
Wow.
So you're earning, why not? You're making car payments anyway. Why not use this credit card to earn points so that your next down payment or any repairs that you need are covered through the points on the credit card?
That's pretty cool.
What
was the name of the company again?
It's called Fasten. Fasten.
Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, reach out to Sean Hopper.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool. All right, Richie. I think it's time to wrap things up unless you got anything else you want to.
No, that's it. What's the name of the company?
Fasten.
Oh, like fasten your seatbelt. Here we go.
Yep.
I like that. That's
yeah.
Yeah. Fasten your seatbelt. So listen, guys, fasten your seatbelt. Pay attention. Call Shannon now and lower. Do not stop your ads, but lower them. Share it with others, and you'll see the results. Okay. Don't go to the well too many times because you can go oops and fall down and crack your head open. Okay?
Lose your hair.
And get stitches, and then you got problems. Okay. Not too many times to the well. Shannon, it was a pleasure communicating with you today. Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming to our podcast. Really, really, we're humble to have a person like you with so much talent and so much ability. And God bless you. And thank you.
This was your first?
Yes.
First podcast. You did better than us. So
I am so grateful.
Better than us. Thank God for Shannon.
You're awesome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you both.